Good afternoon. We will continue today. We have seen on the day about any doubt based on that previous lectures. Okay. So we have seen so far about the generation of IC, why VLSI technology is significant, and why do we prefer the FPGA for various applications, right? And then what is GLSI, what is ULSI, and what will be the future technology in the integration level. And then we started discussing about combinational and sequential circuits and what are the further classification in sequential circuits based on the level of triggering or your operation edge. They will be classified into 4 different types: positive trigger, negative trigger, or rising trigger, or falling trigger. Based on that, we call it as a flip flop and latches also. Show me all of your face. Chandrasekhar. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about the combinational circuits for first few lectures. Then we move into sequential circuits, right? So in combinational circuits, we will see how this will be normally designed. If we have SSI chips, and how do we do it in the VFPGA using the Vivado software, right, in the lab session. So that you all will get some basic idea how the SSI technology is for this type of design, and how do we move into the advanced technology that is FPGA based implementation. So we have taken one simple circuit that what we called as a adder, right, parallel adder. We see the parallel adder, then we move into the serial adder. In parallel adder, if you look at this circuit, there is one half adder, then full adder, n number of full adders are required. Maybe you can take it as 0. This is 0, 1, and then n minus 1, n minus 1, right? Or n is the total number of bits, are n minus 2, because first bit is used to the half adder. So look here, this what we call the parallel adder. The parallel name comes here relatively to the serial operation of this addition, right? But basically it is not the parallel adder. It is the sequential adder only now. We will see why it is sequential adder and what is the drawback in this system, right? Which forces us to move to some other types of adder to increase the speed, increase the computation speed, right? That means that is the main reason for introducing the parallel adder as well as a pipelined parallel adder, which are the very recent technology in the computation, especially in digital field, digital domain, pipelined parallel architecture. Look here, this circuit is there, right? So X naught, A naught of D, suppose I'm taking, this is FPGA. This is FPGA, right? I have here A with me, I have here B also. This B, A is n bit and B also n bit. So I'm going to expect the output Y, that is n plus 1 bit size, because we know n bit can be added with n bit plus n bit can be added, and the result can be in n plus 1 bits, right? So we need to allot 1 bit additionally so that you can accommodate the complete result within that register. Look now, the A is coming from some other section here. This is the external input. This is the external input. This is also the external output. In this case, but input will be definitely from. This is not clear. Image is not clear.
Yes, sir.
No, sir. Image is not clear, sir. It
No,
is very
sir.
blurred.
It is very bad, so
Yeah, I do not know, man, why you people are telling like this.
Resolution is very less, sir.
Now, one second. I will change this one.
So the
But
focus is shifting in between.
One second. I will change this one first, then we will see. This was, video resolution is, I am moving to advanced. How is now? No. How is the resolution now? Is it better or what?
Yes, sir, it is bit better, but
better than that,
Yeah, better than before. But sir, when you are writing,
But
the
still
focus
it
of
is
the
not
camera
clear, sir.
shifts. The focus of the camera shifts at that time.
Now, no, I adjusted now. I adjusted the
Sir,
focus
with
now.
blacking it's clear, sir.
With the
Blacking.
blacking. Okay.
Uh,
1 minute. How is this one now?
Yes, sir, it's better.
same, sir.
Same. I will use this one then.
So if you write some bigger letter, then it will be quite helpful for
How is
reading that also.
understood? Now, how is now? I mean, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right.
Yes,
So I
sir.
will use this. I will use this pen only then. Okay, right. So this is the external input. This is the external output. That means it is going into some other section. It is coming from some section into the FPGA now. See, at an instant of time, the input A and B is available to the FPGA. At any instant of time, whenever the input is applied into the circuit, it is available to the FPGA, but the result will not be produced at the same time. Reason is A0, B0 is available, A1, B1, A2, B2, N minus 1, B n minus 1, all are available at an instant of time into these orders, half adder, full adder, 1, 2, 3, and so on. But the some S of 0 will be available here after some amount of processing time. At the same instant, S of 1 cannot be available because the carry should propagate from this section into this section so that the full adder will add A1, B1 with C0 or C1. Then only the S of 1 will be available. Again, this adder should propagate its carry into FA1. Then only A2, B2 will be added with this carry. Then the result will come out. Look here, if you see this design, since the A0, B0, A2, B2, A1, B1, An minus 1, Bn minus 1, all are available at an instant of time. The S1, S of 1 also available, S of 2 also available, S of n minus 1 also available, correct. But they are all not the correct answer. It will take some time to give you the correct answer because of the carry propagation. Carry propagation will take some time now. That means this is the combinational circuits. All are the combinational circuits. So once the input is changed, immediately S of 1 will be changed. S of 2 also will be changed. S of n minus 1 also will be changed. But those results are not correct result because the C of the C1, C2, C of n will be the C of n minus 1 should be available here to get the correct S of n minus 1 result now, right? That means the designer should wait some time. Immediately at the moment when you applied the input, you cannot expect the output. You needed to wait for some time to get the output. What is that some time? Right? If it is a 4-bit, the some time is different. If it is 128 bits, some time is different now. So based on the computation complexity, the number of bits you wish to add, you needed to decide the time, and then we needed to wait to get the final result now, right? So two problems we faced here. One problem is the time is not quantifiable. It is not a generic time. That means you cannot generalize the time. When you increase your bits, the time also will be increased now. Second one is this is called parallel adder, but result will not be available. Result will be available after some amount of time because the carry should propagate into all the subsequent next sections to get the final result. Right. Fine. So this is the parallel adder design. Parallel adder design. So in parallel adder, suppose A is here, Y is equal to A plus B now. Look, A plus B now. The plus is the addition. Addition in the VHDL design. In the VHDL design. Now we have no any control. Whenever we use the plus symbol to add the A and A with B to generate the result Y, we have no any control over its addition operation because we are using the operator. We are using the operator. We are using the operator in the sense, suppose A may be, for example, 64 bits and B will be your 64 bits. Therefore, y will be 65 bits. Listen now, 64 bits will be added with the 64 bits, right? The internal adder, how many half adder is required, how many full adder is required, everything will be chosen by the tool itself now. Therefore, we should wait for some time. We should wait for some time to get the result or to consider the result, to latch out the result or to consider the result now. Instead of using the operator, I can go for my own design also. That means I will use the adders and I will introduce the pipeline parallel architecture so that I can improve the throughput. I can improve the computation speed. That just you keep in your mind that we should avoid using the operators in the VHDL design or any digital signal processing. We should not prefer to use the operator because operator will be optimized by the tool. That time is not within us now. When you avoid using the operator and you introduce the pipeline parallel addition, then the throughput will be increased. Computation speed will be increased. How do we do it? No, that we will discuss subsequently now. The idea is whenever you use the operator, plus is operator for addition, minus is the operator for subtraction, star is the operator for multiplication, slash is the operator for division. Understand now? So these are all the primary operators. Slash is for division. This is for multiplication. This is for multiplication. This is for subtraction. But whenever you use the operator, nothing is in your control now. Then you should wait for the total time that is required for the system or for the architecture to produce that result. That time may be including your propagation time as well as the processing time. Total delay. Correct. We should wait now. Therefore, we do not use the operators. We use only the architecture. That means pipeline parallel architecture. We need it introduced now in every design. We will see what is that. How do we introduce now? As we progress, you will understand. So we need to introduce pipeline parallel architecture design to increase your throughput or the computation speed now. Right. This is the adder, parallel adder done. So this is a straight away addition now. Just you are adding the bit 1 plus 1 0 and 1 0 0 1 0. Right. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Then this is our carry. Carry now. Right. Next, we will see the parallel subtractor. Parallel subtractor now. Right. In parallel subtraction, suppose I am taking two numbers, maybe 8, 5. I needed to subtract these two numbers. Listen, 8 minus 5 now. Right. How are we going to do in the digital domain? I tell you, no operation, no mathematical operation in the digital other than the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, logarithmic, algebraic operation, trigonometric operation. Everything will ultimately be done in terms of additions only now. Because the digital domain does not know any division, does not know any multiplication, does not know any subtraction. There is no any operation called a subtraction, multiplication, division first of all. Everything will be done in terms of addition only in the digital computation now. For any magnitude of your computation, starting from simple 4-bit adder into the satellite control or to your image processing or to your speech processing, voice processing, control system, everything will ultimately be done in addition now. Right. Look now, I'm taking the 8 now because we use the complement here, particularly 2's complement. 2's complement technique. 2's complement. This is the purpose of complement, right? Representing the number in some other domain so that you can easily perform your computation in some known methods or in using some known or familiar technique. So what I'm doing to subtract this one, 8 bits here, you write the 8 bit as it is. That is 1 0 0 0 is the 8 now. Then this 5 bit is there now. 5 bit is nothing but 0 1 0 1 is the 5 bit now. Correct? No? 5 bit now. Now you write this number. The actual result is 3. Actual result is 3 here. You write this number as it is 1 0 0 0. And when you take the 2's complement of this number, what is the 1's complement of this number first? 1's complement is 1 0 1 0 and add 1. Right. Add here 1 1 0, 1 now. So write here 1, 0, 1, 1. Look now, this is the 2's complement of 5. This is the 2's complement of 5. 2's complement of 5. How the 2's complement is done? This in this method only. You know, take 1's complement, then you add 1 with the LSB. That is the 2's complement. So 2's complement is taken now. Now you add these two numbers now. You add these two numbers. 1, 0, 0, 0 will be added with 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. You add now 1 here, 1 plus 0, 1, 1 plus 0, 1, 0 plus 0, 0, 1 plus 1, 0, and there is one carry 1. This carry is called end around carry. EOC bol rahe, end around carry now, right? EOC or end of carry, right? End of carry, EOC. This is very important, the subtraction now. Now we have done the subtraction. The result is 3 now. The result is 3 now. That means we have not subtracted anything from anything now. Just we added, right? The one number, the y, maybe you take this is x, this is y. The y is represented in 2's complement. X is taken as it is. Then just we applied the parallel addition. Then we got the result now. If the end around carry is 1, end around carry is 1, the sign of the result is plus. The sign of the result is plus, and then you can omit the EOC. We can discard the end around carry now. So the condition is you take the x as it is, take the 2's complement of y, and then you apply the parallel addition. The result will be there. You look the end of carry. If end of carry is 1, then you check the result as it is, put the sign plus, put the sign plus, and discard the EOC now. Done. Right. I am taking alternatively because in addition, 8 plus 5 is equal to 5 plus 8, right? But in subtraction, 8 minus 5 is different from 5 minus 8. There may be result is the same in magnitude, but in polarity, result is different, right? So I am taking alternatively 5 minus 8. 5 minus 8, x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 8. And we need to apply the same algorithm. 5 is again 0, 1, 0, 1, and 8 is 1, 0, 0, 0. Now we need to represent this 8 in its 2's complement, 0, 1, 0, 1. What is the 2's complement for 8? 0, 1, 1, 1. Right. Add 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Bring it here, 1, 0, 0, 0. Add now 1, 0, 1, 1. Now end of carry is 0. This is 0. End of carry is 0 now. Look here, whenever your end of carry is 0, means your end of carry will be 0 whenever you subtract a greater number from the smaller number. Whenever we subtract the greatest number from the smallest number, our end of carry will be 0. If end of carry is 0, then this is not your result. This is not your final result. Then we need to take 1 second 2's complement. 1 second 2's complement to get the correct result now. Take 1 second 2's complement. 0, 0, 1, 0. Add 1 now. 1, 1, 0, 0. Right. So this is the final result. Result is 3 only. Since the end of carry is 0, I needed to put the minus sign here. This is the final result now. This is the final result now. Right. So what is the algorithm? You take x as it is because we do not know which is greater, which is lesser. Right. And you cannot check also because x and y is coming to the FPGA at a very high speed now. That is not our intention now. So you get x and y, you take the 2's complement of y, then you send it to the adder. I'm telling you the operation, correct? No, that means the internal architecture function. First you read x and y, take the complement of y, then you send to the adder. Adder will add and give you the result. Check the end of carry. End of carry means the final carry bit. Check the final carry bit. If the carry bit is 1, then you forward the result as it is to the outside with plus sign. Plus sign means with sign, positive sign. If it is 0, then you 1 second take the 2's complement and then send it into the output side. Send it and latch it out to the out for further operation now. Right. So this is the algorithm. This is the algorithm for parallel subtractor or binary subtractors now. So binary subtraction also happens in the 2's complement only, in the addition only finally now. No any direct subtractions in the binary platform now, right? Now look here, if you go to the architecture, for this one, for your parallel subtractor, then we will take here one addition adder. I'm taking for 4 bits.
Sir,
Yes.
Subtractions where the number of bits of the two numbers are not same.
Any
For
question?
example, 9 minus 8. Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
9 minus 8. Yes.
In such cases, when the number of bits are not same, what do we do in those cases? Because we have to add additional bit for 8, and then the carry would arrive for the 6th bit.
I'm not getting you. I'm not getting you. Number of bits means 9 and 8 के लिए same bits no, number of bits है.
नो फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर एक नंबर का बिट जो है वो 5 नंबर ऑफ बिट्स है और दूसरे नंबर में 4 ही है, तो हमें फिर उस केस में एडिशनल बिट एक ऐड करनी पड़ती है पूरे टाइम ऐड करने के लिए. फिर कैरी क्या उसके आगे वाली बिट का काउंट करते हैं या उसी बिट का जो हमने लिया है एक्स्ट्रा बिट?
No. See. It is like this. Listen now. I will go back to last slide. 1 second. Here, this is your FPGA, no? This is your FPGA, correct? The number of bits are limited here, correct? No? That means your A is limited to 8 bits. B is limited to 8 bits, right? Irrespective of the magnitude, the A and B should be in 8 bits. Suppose A is 3 and B is 9, then to represent 9, you need 4 bits. To represent 3, you need 3 bits. But you cannot do it 3 bits because A is already in 8 bits, no? So A and B will automatically carry the necessary zeros. You understood now?
So we cannot go beyond 8 bits. We will have a different system for that.
No, because your input and your A and B are limited. No? That you should know, na? Designer should know that what is the maximum magnitude that can go into the FPGA. Because we have to decide, no, we are going to add the 100 bits by 100 bits. Or one maximum magnitude. You have to take the maximum magnitude. Accordingly, you fix the number of bits that is needed for your inputs. So accordingly, it will come inside. Okay, no? So for okay, example, see here, the X and Y are taken in 4 bits now. 4 bits in this example. Therefore, 8 is represented by 1000 and 5 is represented by 0101. Because 5 will come to the FPGA like this only now. Because this bit also is there in the input. Correct, no? In the same way, alternatively, in the same way also, suppose here X is 5, Y is 8. So the 5 will come with the 0 only because the input bits are limited to 4 bits here now. 4 bits. Understood, no?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, right. Okay. Please ask me any questions you have. Okay. Now, so we have the adder here. Suppose one more full adder here. Then another adder here. So I am taking now for 4 bits now. So in this case, in our full adder, I will draw the digital architecture for this one. For our subtraction, how do we do using the full adder circuits? Here I am taking 1. Here I am taking 1 now. Just you will get idea how the parallel subtractor architecture will be, right? 1 here, then X0 will directly come, X1 will directly come. This is X0, this is X1, this is X2, this is X3, and Y0 will come through an inverter. This is Y0, not gate. This is Y1. This is Y2. This is Y3 now. This is Y3. This is C1 now. Then this goes into one exclusive OR gate. This goes into another exclusive OR gate. This result also goes into another exclusive OR gate. This result also goes into one more exclusive OR gate. Then this final carry, no, this carry we are again inverting and sending to all these gates. Here, here, it comes here, it comes here also now, right? Then this result will be, it will go to one half order, another half order, half order 0, half order 1, half order 2, half order 3, full order 0, full order 1, full order 2, full order 3. This is a interesting design. It will give you a lot of idea. Then final carry here. This propagates here, this propagates here, this propagates here now. Okay. Now we will understand this circuit configuration. Look here. Can you able to see the circuit? All of you please take down. You can able to see now the circuit? Okay. Now listen me. We will understand this circuit function. I'm going to add now x, y. The x is in 3 bits. x3, x2, x1, x0, and y is y3, y2, y1, y0.
सर
I'm going, yes,
सर हाफ एडर जीरो में इनपुट कैसे आ गया, मतलब वो तो कैरी नहीं लेता है ना.
half order.
हाफ एडर जो हाफ एडर जीरो में कैरी नहीं लेगा ना वो तो.
Wait. You will understand now. As I explain, you will understand, right? After this explanation, you ask me any questions.
Yes,
Look now. X is in 4 bits, Y is in 4 bits. X is in 4 bits, Y is in 4 bits now, right? The X naught is directly given to this full order 0. Y naught is given with complement. Y naught is given with complement. X1 is directly given to full order 1 and Y is passed through the NOT gate. X2 is directly given, Y2 is passed through the NOT gate. X3 is directly given, Y3 is passed through the NOT gate. So whenever we pass the Y through the NOT gate means one's complement is taken. Do you understand? One's complement is taken now. Because one's complement is nothing but just inversion. 1 will become 0, 0 will become 1 now. So X and Y are the general inputs now. So X is in 4 bits, Y is in 4 bits. Y can have any value from 0 to 15. X can get any value from 0 to 15. So to make our design general, we pass the Y through the inverter. Therefore, here this is Y3 dash, this is Y2 dash, this is Y1 dash, this is Y0 dash. So one's complement is done. One's complement is done. Instead of using the half order like the parallel order as I discussed in the earlier case, we are using the full order here because initially I am maintaining the carry is 1. The carry is 1 now. So when I maintain the carry is 1, I am going to do the 2's complement also now. 2's complement also now. 2's complement also in the sense x0, y0 will be added with y1. I mean x0 and y0 dash will be added with 1 now. That is a way how we need to take the 2's complement, right? So this adder will be something like that. x3, x2, x1, x0, here y3 dash, here y2 dash, here y1 dash, and here x0 dash. I am going to add only 1 here. That means the y dash will be added with 1 along with x0. So the 2's complement is also done. 2's complement also done. In that case now, the FA0, FA1, FA2, F3 is just adder only, not subtractor. But the addition is happening, the 2's complement of y with the x. 2's complement of y with the x now, right? That is the reason why we have to choose the full order in the beginning. Unlike our first full order, first half order in our parallel addition, right? So 1 is here. So therefore, this result, no, this result will be, at this output will be, I'm writing just S0, S1, S2, S3 now. S0, S1, S2, S3 now. Right. I'm writing chota S0 here. This is the intermediate sum. Intermediate sum or result. Intermediate sum or result now. As we have seen in the previous algorithm, as we have seen earlier, the intermediate result is not always correct result. Correct? No? It is not always correct result. We needed to forward that result as it is if your EOC is 1. If the end of carry is equal to 1, that means this result is 1, then just we needed to pass that result into the output side. Final S0. Final S0. This is the capital S0, capital S1, S2, S3, and this is the final carry. Final carry. This is the final sum. This is the final sum now. Now look here. So the condition is if our end of carry is 1. If the end of carry is 1, then what happened? The whatever S3 should come out here, whatever this result should be available, S1 should be forwarded here, S0 should be forwarded here now. So look in this architecture. If the EOC is 1, then it is passed through this inverter. Therefore, this will become 0. Correct? No? Then the 0 will come to exclusive OR gate. Here also 0, here also 0, here also 0. Then this also will be 0. Right. So when the 0 is the one input into the exclusive OR gate, then the output of the exclusive OR gate is another input. Another input now. Right. Something like this. Suppose Y is equal to A XOR B. A XOR B now. Right. If A is always 0, then XOR of B no. Now the Y is equal to B. Y is equal to B now. Y is equal to B now. Right. You understand now this algorithm? This just by checking the exclusive OR gate, you will get this idea. Y is equal to B now. Alternatively, if Y is equal to 1 XOR B means Y is equal to always B dash. Y is equal to always B dash. For example, you take now one input is 1. If the Y is 1, if B is 1, then result will be 0. In exclusive OR gate, do you able to remember the exclusive OR gate function? If the input are same, output is a different complement. That means if this is 1, I will draw here, then I will tell you. This is the exclusive OR gate. This is A, B, C, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0. Look now. If B is 0, then B is 0. See here. If B is 0, if A is 0, C equal to 0. Right? If B is 0, A is 1. You look now. In this condition, no, B is 0 here. B is 0, B is 0. If B is 0, then C equal to A. Understood? C equal to A. Or if A is 0, then C equal to B. That means if the one input is 0, the output of the exclusive OR gate depends on the another input. Depends on the another input. Alternatively, if A is 1, here A is 1, no. If A is 1, then B is 0 means C is 1. B is 1 means C is 0. That means when one input is 1, the output is the complement of another input. Output is the complement of another input now. You understand the basic operation of exclusive OR gate? So the idea is if the A is 0, if A is 0, then Y is equal to B. If A is 1, then Y is equal to B dash. Y is equal to B dash. Correct? No? Here in this, now you come back here. In this case, if this input is 0, therefore S3 will come out here. This input is 0, S2 will come out, S1 will come out, S0 will come out. Now the half order will add this 0 with S0 and this 0, therefore 0, right? Carry will be definitely 0, no? Because we are adding S0 with 0 only now. Then this also will be 0. So S1 will come out, S2 will come out, S3 will come out. That means the idea is whenever your EOC is 1, whenever your EOC is 1, this exclusive OR gate and the adder will just pass the intermediate sum as the final sum. Intermediate sum as the final sum now. Correct? In other way, suppose I want to subtract the smallest number from the largest number, right? Largest number from the smallest number. In that case, the EOC will be 1. In that case, the end of carry is equal to 0 when if x is less than y, x is less than y. This is 1 when if x is greater than y. So whenever x is greater than y, right, and x is equal to y also, s is equal to y also, correct, equal to y greater than y, then end of carry will be 1. Therefore, the intermediate sum will be passed into the output. In other way, whenever the AOC is 0, then what happened? This 0 will come here, then the 0 will become 1 now. Understand the logic, no? 1 now. Then the 1 will be propagated into the 1 input of all the exclusive OR gate. Therefore, S3 dash will come, S2 dash will come, S1 dash will come, S0 dash will come. Got the idea? And here also this will become 1 now. So the 1's complement is done here. And because I'm going to add 1 here, 2's complement also done now. 2's complement also done now. Therefore, I will get the final sum result, final sum here. But since based on this carry, no, I'm going to design the sign. Either this is plus or minus number. Either plus or minus number. If EOC is 1, then it is a plus number. If EOC is 0, it is a minus number now. So this is the way how the subtraction is working in digital domain, right? So if you draw one block diagram, for example, see, I'm drawing here now. This is my final output. Remaining everything is happening inside the FPGA. All these things are happening inside the FPGA now. This is FPGA. That means your FPGA inputs are only 4-bit. That is X0, X1, X2, X3. And our Y, Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3. That's all. These 8 bits are input into FPGA. Correct, no? Then the outputs are in 5 bits. S0, S1, S2, S3 and C out now. That's all. Then remaining all these things are happening inside the FPGA. That means inversion and then addition, then again one exclusive OR gate, again inversion, again half addition. Correct? So all those things are happening inside it. Therefore, the final result will be your appropriate result now. This is the architecture for parallel subtractor, like the parallel adder. So parallel adder, just directly we are getting the result. But in parallel subtractor, we needed to adjust the result. We needed to, right. Suppose if SSI technology is with you, how will you do like this? For 4-bit, we needed to process several gates. We needed to connect several gates together just to implement the 4-bit addition, right? Suppose I am asking you to add 60-bit plus 60-bit or 128 bits plus 128 bits. How many half adders required? How many full adders required? And we know the equivalent circuit of half adder. It consists of so many gates, right? 2 exclusive OR gate, 2 AND gate, and 1 OR gate. And if you go in depth for exclusive OR gate, then you need 2 AND gate, 2 OR gate, 2 NOT gates, right? So huge amount of SSI IC should be used in those days to make such additions. That is why the computation was limited to certain 2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits, 8 bits now. But now, since we have the very sophisticated platform called FPGA, you can go for 128 bits additions just by one instruction. But to do all those things, you needed to develop all the circuits there now. So this can be added by some circuits. This can be added by some gates. This can be added by again some circuits now. So the designer should take care of such designs in the FPGA to read the input, right, and then take the complement. So you see the computation flow now. First, I needed to read an X and Y. Then second operation, I needed to complement the Y. Third operation, I needed to add them together. Fourth operation, I need to check the EOC. Correct? No. The next, then I need to perform the addition. Then final result will come out. Result will come out now, right? Then finally result will be passed into the subsequent sections, maybe for display or maybe for transmission, maybe for control now, right? So this is the idea how the parallel subtractor is actually working, right? Actually working now. There is no any 1 minus 1 equal to 0, 0 minus 1, 0 के लिए 0 cannot be, 1 cannot be subtracted from 0, so borrow 1. These are all some theoretical concept, but practically ऐसा नहीं है, right? If 4 bit में last 2 bits are 0, from where will you borrow? Where is the business of borrow in digital domain? And where is the business of borrow in computation? Who will give you borrow? Money can be borrowed from your friend. I can borrow from you, you can borrow from me. But how the computation will do? No any borrow business. Just to understand it. Understand it is, we have been taught that oh, this is borrow from here, this is borrow from here. So I say nahi, in real-time computation, everything will be in additions only. But to get the final result, this section is required to handle the data properly to give you the sign as well as the right magnitude. Sign as well as the right magnitude now, right? Fine.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, so in this, in the case of parallel adder and parallel subtractor, what will be the worst case inputs?
What will be the
worst case inputs?
Worst case input means, what do you mean?
Means, sir, the thing is that if we are trying to if we are trying to use this FPGA, means the time complexity will be dependent upon the type of inputs which you will be giving, right? In this FPGA, or it will be independent of that.
What do you mean by time complexity first?
Means, sir, suppose for example, if we are giving alternative inputs like 1 0 1 0.
Yes,
like
Sankar. Now I will ask you your question like this. You asked me that what is the maximum bits we can apply into FPGA for addition and subtraction?
Sir, 4 bits, 4 bits, that is.
No. Are you asking me this question or what?
No, I'm asking, sir, what kind of, means suppose if you are having, I'm asking that if you are having inputs like 1 0 1 0, then means, sir, like, what can I say? Maximum, for example, if you want to compute the maximum delay, then what should be the input combination?
If you want to compute the maximum delay,
yes, sir, then what should be the input combination in here?
128 bits. 128 bits. If you feed 128 bits now, not in 7 series FPGA, in less than 6 and below.
No, I'm not asking.
If you feed 128 bit, X is 128 bit.
No, not sir. I'm not asking about the number of bits. I'm asking, suppose if we have 4 bits, 4-bit addition we need to perform.
Okay.
Then in that case, what should be the bit combination of X and Y? That's what I'm asking.
Bit combination of X and Y means 2 to the power 4, 0 to 15.
Okay. Sir,
what do you mean? What do you mean by bit combination here? See, no. 1 second. Listen me first. This is a FPGA. Okay, no? So X is 4 bits, we decided. 4 bits, X is 4 bit, Y is 4 bit. So the result, maybe Z will be in 5 bits. Correct, no?
Yes, sir.
So X will get any value from 0 to 15.
Okay, sir.
And Y will get any value from 0 to 15. That is not in your hand, no? Because that is coming from some external world. Your sensor or transducer, some other part. It can come from anywhere.
Okay, so that means that's what I wanted to ask. So for any input, the delay will processing delay will remain the same, irrespective of the inputs.
Exactly. No, not irrespective of the input. That means if you fix the number of bits, no, then the time delay is fixed.
Okay, sir. That's what I wanted to ask.
Okay. Now, if you go to some single bit, if you want to add, no, obviously that will give you least delay.
Yes, sir.
If you go 4 bit, slightly more delay, 128 bit more delay. So depends upon the number of bits again, right?
Okay.
No?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Good. Okay. Any more questions? Okay.
So I have one.
So,
is there any specific input which might create errors in this circuits?
No. No, because this is a
So
more
all-
general circuit. This is a more general circuit. You can feed any input which is in between zeros and 15.
15. Okay.
Because it's more general circuits, no?
Yes.
So you can accommodate any magnitude within that level.
Okay, sir.
Okay, right. Now just this you keep in mind how we are going to execute in the FPGA now, right? So we need to perform task by task now, right? So first this will be applied, then complement will taken, addition, then again EOC checking, then passing through the explosive OR gate, then final addition, final result will be coming out, right? So before going into serial adder and divider, just we will see the multiplication.
Sir,
Ah,
sir, while subtracting,
hmm.
if we had our inputs are of 4 bits, so
Yes,
at max we can get 5 bits at the output.
yes.
Then why we only have 4 bits at the output?
5 bits, na? This also is here, no?
See,
Carry out. C is also 1 bit, no? Understood?
yes, sir.
But
Mhm.
normally, when you subtract, no, this bit is not needed. But this is also is there. This is your final bit, final result. Okay, no?
But it
So the
depends that whether we include C or not.
The reason is when you subtract 8 bit from another 8 bit, obviously result will be less than 8 bit only.
Yes, sir, if both the numbers are negative, then it can go 9 bits.
That yes, this is there now already. You are looking that bit, no? That is not from the sum, that is from this one now, first adder.
Okay, sir.
We are looking from here. From here, based on this EOC, no, we are deciding plus or minus. Not from this result. Understood, no?
Okay. Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. Right. Next, binary multiplication. So we have seen binary addition, binary subtraction, but both operations we have done in addition only, right? There is no any subtraction business in that two computations. Now we are going to see multiplication, and we will prove that this also is in terms of addition. This also in terms of addition only now. I am taking 3 bits, y0, y1, y2. I am going to multiply x2, x1, x0. x2, x1, x0. Here the sign bit is neglected. That means we did not consider the sign bit. The sign bit later we will consider and discuss how do we process it. So you multiply this one now. The first one is y0 into x0. Next one is y1 into x0. Then y2 into x0. Then again you multiply by x1. y0 into x1, y1 into x1, and y2 into x1. Then multiply by x2. y0 into x2, y1 into x2, and y2 into x2. Then finally, this is called a partial product 1, partial product 1, partial product 2, partial product 3. Then this is the P0, this is the P1, this is the P2, this is the P3, and this is the P4. This is the P4. Can you able to see this one? All of you can, okay, fine. Look now, the beauty of computation. Y2, Y1, Y0 may be any value. Definitely it is a binary, right? 1, 0 only now, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. So since I have taken 3 bits here, the value will be 0, 0 to 1, 1, 1. Anything, it can vary from 0 to 7. 0 to 7, any value, the magnitude can give any value into the multiplication that varies from 0 to 7. So x0 to y0 I multiplied, that term is here, and this is the x0 into y0, this is y1 into x0, this is y2 into x0, y2 into x0. Then this is a y0 x1, y1 x1, y2 x2. Similarly here, y0 x2, y1 x2, y2 x3 now. Look now, x0, y0 in the sense, x0 is a bit, y0 is a bit, right? Irrespective of the length of your x and y. X can be 128 bits, y can be 1000 bits, but y0 is a bit only. X0 is a bit only, correct no? So in the first term, x0 and y0 are multiplied, means x0 and y0 is passed to an AND gate. Passed to an AND gate, because AND gate is nothing but a multiplier, bit multiplier, binary bit multiplier. So I'm taking AND gate here. This is the AND gate. So x0 is passed here, y0 is passed here. If x0 is 0, then result will be 0, or y0 is 0, result will be 0, right? Or both are 1, result will be 1 now. So all these partial product multiplications will be done by AND gates. Will be done by AND gates. Accordingly, we needed to route our inputs into the AND gate now. So I need here one AND gate, second AND gate, third AND gate, fourth AND gate, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. So 9 AND gates are there now. So the AND gates are given the input appropriately from the external x and y. From the external x and y now. So the AND gate result is at this point. The AND gate result is at this point. Here also AND gate result is there. So since x0 into y0 is passed into one AND gate, the result will be only one bit. That bit will be directly taken into P0. Directly taken into P0. Whereas in the another one, x0 and y0 is given into one AND gate. x1, y0 is given into one more AND gate. So that AND gate result is one bit only. This here AND gate also one bit only. So these two should be added by one half adder. Will be added by one half adder. So I am writing now, these two will go to one half adder. This will go to one half adder. Then the half adder sum will come as the partial final product P1, and iska carry no, that will be passed into the subsequent addition. Subsequent addition now. So again, x0 to y0 is a single bit, x1, y2, y1 is single bit. So to add this two, I need one more half adder. I need one more half adder here. Correct no? Then that sum and its a carry will be passed here. This is sum and the previous addition carry. Understand now? And this y0 x0 will be added by one full adder. So this addition will be by one full adder. This is one full adder now. So full adder is the previous half adder carry and the sum of the previous half adder addition and the present value, its value. So one full adder. So that sum will be taken into P2, and this will give you one carry. This will give you one carry. Do you understand now? Do you understand this computation? That will give you one more carry now. Then for x1, y1, y2, x0 and this carry and this value by one more full adder. One full adder. And this carry will come out here and its sum will come out here. So this carry and for this sum ke liye one more half adder. One more half adder. That result is P3 and it carry will be here. Carry will be forwarded again. So this carry and this carry and this bit will be again by one full adder. So one full adder. That result sum is the P4 and the carry is the final bit. Carry is the final bit now. That is nothing but P5. Nothing but a P5 now, right? So finally, the idea is whenever you want to multiply, you needed to use adders only again. Maybe half adder or full adder, but we are going to make use of the adder only to perform the multiplication also now. For example, I am taking 4 bits. I am multiplying now 1, 1, 1 in 1, 0, 1, 1 plus 1, 0, 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 0, 1 now. This is the result now. This is 7. This is 6. What is the result now? What is this value now? 42. Is it 42? This is a 2. This is a 4. This is a 16. Sorry. This is a 36. This is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32 now. So 40 plus 42 now. We got the result now. How did we get the result now? This 1 into 1 we have done. 0 into 1 means 0 and 1 goes to 1 AND gate. Correct. Then 1 into 1 means both 1s are going into 1 AND gate. Therefore, we got 1 here now. Then finally, this result is directly taken here. These two are added by one half adder and the result is taken here. Then this is again added. So this is all these sections are by half adders or full adders. Half adders or full adders. Then where is the matter of multiplication then? Correct, no? So the multiplication also by additions only. Also by additions. Additions only now. So subtractions also by addition, multiplication also by addition also is by addition only, division also is by addition only. We will see in the subsequent lecture, right? You understand now? So this is the binary multiplication. How do we do it now? So what is the architecture for this one? How do we implement it in the FPGA? We see in the subsequent classes, right? Any doubt?
Sir, if there is a negative value, then
That we tomorrow we will discuss. That means your question is good. His question is -5 and 4, -5 and +4. You keep one thing in your mind. In the digital domain, sign will be dealt separately, magnitude will be dealt separately now, right? Magnitude will be separately means because these are all unsigned number. When you want deal the sign number, then 1 bit will be allotted for sign and the 4 bits will be for magnitude now. So in this case, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 is the number. In this case, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0 is the number now. See, that means your -5 will be represented by 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. And it is informed you that it is a signed number. So when you are informed that it is signed number, then first bit will represent only the sign now. Only the sign now. So the here X sign is 1, Y sign is 0. So these two will be given into one more exclusive OR gate. One more exclusive OR gate. If one is 1, another one is 0, result will be 1. That means the result sign will be 1 means a negative number. Negative number. If this is 1, this is also 1, that means both are negative number, then the exclusive OR gate will be 0. Therefore, the result will be a positive number. Or this is 0, this is 1, these two will be given into exclusive OR gate, result will be 1 now, therefore result is a negative number now. So the sign bit will be dealt separately by exclusive OR gate. Correct? In addition and division. In addition and division. But whereas in addition and multiplication, that will be separately dealt and taken based on the exclusive OR gate. Understand now? So
yes,
direction is by, polarity is by exclusive OR gate. Magnitude is by addition. Magnitude is by addition. That is the fundamental concept behind these things. In fact, the same thing in division also. Next class, we will see how X will be divided by Y. 128 by 84, 64 by 32. How those things also will happen in the addition. Any more questions?
Yeah, so I have one. So in this negative case, will that XOR gate will it be assigned any p value, p1, p2, like we have assigned in multiplication? Will it be having any parity?
No. That means this bit final. See, okay, it is something like this. Suppose I am telling you X and Y both are the signed numbers. Condition is both are signed numbers. So it is represented 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. So you don't see X and Y now. You see only this number, and you see only this number, right? Since it is already informed you, this is a signed number, then you go to calculate the magnitude only by leaving the MSB.
Okay, sir.
The magnitude should be calculated only by leaving the magnitude. Only by the MSB. Magnitude should be calculated in the sense your addition operation for this all this addition operation and AND gate operation, you needed to pass all the values except MSB because it is a signed number.
Yes, sir.
Right? Then you do all this computation. Finally, you will have this result 1 0 1 0 1 0 is your final result of product.
Yes, sir.
Then you needed to represent your product also in the signed form.
Yes.
Then you should have one number, one bit here for sign. Because the signed number, both the signed number can be dealt for any computation, but result also should be in the signed form only.
Yes, sir.
So
So it will
this-
be computed separately.
Separately by exclusive OR gate, that's all.
Okay, sir.
So these two bits, no, that means that this is one exclusive OR gate. This is the X MSB and this is Y MSB and the result will be appended here, that's all.
Okay, sir.
Result will be appended. If it is 1 1, result is 0 because minus into minus plus 0
Yes,
1
sir.
result is 1 1 0 result is 1 0 0 result is 0. So this is the total sum now. So the result also is a signed number. Result also is a signed number now. But the signed number we will see in our second unit, right? Signed number and the floating point number. Now we see only the integer number. The real number, integer number means 8, 15, 16, 17. These are all the integer number. Real number means 8.5, 8.925, minus 6.839. Then 8 into 10 power minus 18, minus 20 now. All the real numbers we see in the second module. Okay.
Okay, sir.